Hi everyone, welcome to another video on personal branding. So, I was reading a book called Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon, and I thought of sharing some insights which I tried to draw from Kleon's explanation in this book, Steal Like an Artist. Let me say something that might sound a little uncomfortable, but can be true. So, your personal brand is not supposed to be original. Yeah, you heard that right. And if you're still trying to find out a unique personality to stand out online, that's probably why your content feels forced, inconsistent, or maybe even exhausting. Austin Kleon says that nothing is original. And once you truly understand that particular idea, personal branding will become much easier and much more powerful. In this video, I'll try to explain why strong personal brands are not inventions. They are just curated contexts and how authority actually works in the real world. Okay, now let's see what Cleon actually means when he says that nothing is original. So, when he says nothing is original, he is not saying creativity is fake. What he means is that every idea that you see is a remix of things that is already existing, but eventually it is filtered through a human being, right? That's very important because originality is not about uh, creating from nothing, right? Creating from the absolute nascent stage. Being the first human with a very novel idea, it's not about like uh, that. It is not about like sounding different just to sound different. Originality is about contextual interpretation, right? Now, why personal branding breaks when you try to invent yourself? This is where most people go wrong. They think that personal branding means designing a brand personality, copying one influencer's tone and replicating it and trying to, get the momentum right away. Or maybe just even pretending to be more confident, louder, or sharper than they really are. Now, if you go and search the internet and try to do some, basic Google search, and when you read through these forums and discussions, like for example, some of the Reddit discussions, you will find out different posts which says that I don't know what my niche is. And some people are even saying that I feel fake when I try to create any kind of content. You will also see that I don't know how to be authentic online. These problems exist, and these problem isn't about confidence. These problem is basically the invention syndrome. It's like invention instead of curation. So personal brands are lenses, not your novelties. The key idea is that your brand is not just the idea. Your brand is the lens through which ideas are explained. Your ideas are passed through you to your audience in a certain way. Authority doesn't come from saying something no one has ever said. It comes from interpreting existing ideas, applying them to a specific problem, right? Explaining them clearly to a specific set of audience. That's how trust is built. Okay, now let's talk about some examples. If you do some basic search on Google or YouTube or any other social media channels, you will find these examples very easily. Now let's start with Ali Abdal, who talks about productivity. And I'm sure everybody knows about him, right? So nothing Ali talks about is new. He talks about Pomodoro, he talks about deep work, he also talks about note taking, and he also talks about habits. Now, these ideas existed decades ago, but what made his brand powerful was he brought a doctor's mindset angle to every content that he created. He also was very calm and also introduced a non-hustle framing aspect to his contents, right? So clear application for students and creators, that is what he gave, and it clicked. He didn't invent productivity, right? He just translated it for a modern overwhelmed audience. Now let's take an example of Naval Ravikant, who talks about wealth and philosophy. Now, if you read the various social media discussions, Naval doesn't say anything new. He talks about wealth, leverage, happiness, long term thinking. Now, these ideas come from Stoicism, economics, maybe Buddhism, and startup culture, right? But Naval's power is in his compression and clarity. One tweet from him feels like, oh man, this finally makes some sense. That's the interpretation, that's the branding. Now, let's talk about Alex Hormozi. He is one of my favorite creators. He talks about business, he talks about creating offers. But nothing Hormozi teaches is revolutionary. Value creation, sales psychology, pricing theory. These topics existed in textbooks and sales rooms for decades. But he brought a differentiation. Now, his differentiations are brutally simple language, completely clear math, no motivational fluff, right? Straight to the point. Strong, very strong opinions based on logic and use cases. Now, if you go and again read through the social media discussions, everybody will say that he didn't invent this, but he explains it so much better than anyone that he automatically is the one person if you think about business and creating offers, and that is his authority. Now, if I want to give you a personal branding formula which is simple and practical, here's the framework you should internalize. Personal brand equals what already exists plus your experience plus your audience's confusions is equal to your authority. You don't need a new idea, a new personality, a new trend. All you need is just clear thinking, honest interpretation, and consistent application. That is where and how your personal brand will be automatically built. Now, why this is liberating? Once you accept that nothing is original, you will stop trying to perform. You will stop trying to copy personalities, and you will stop chasing virality, and you will start focusing on understanding the topics more deeply and explain clearly, giving a new angle from your end, showing your thinking, and it will reflect your personality. And that's when personal branding will become sustainable. Okay, now let's recap what we have discussed so far. So, personal brands are curated contexts, not inventions, right? Authority comes from interpretation plus your application. Originality lives in how you explain the topic or your content, your ideas, not what you explain. The strongest brands act as clarity engines for their audience. Okay, now if you want to sum up the discussions that we had so far, just try to remember two things. You don't need to be louder. You need to be just clearer. If this video changed how you think about personal branding, hit the like button because clarity deserves reach. Subscribe if you want clear thinking, systems over hype, and honest conversations about building real authority online. Now, comment below, what idea do you keep explaining to people because they never seem to get it, and that might already be your personal brand. Till then, take care.